You should always carry a paper map with you in the backcountry. If your phone battery dies, your GPS battery dies, having a paper map can get you out of a jam, but you have to know how to use it. The good news is it's pretty easy to figure out with just a few simple steps. Now, the foundation of any topographic map is the contour line. These lines simply represent an elevation on a map. If you were to walk along one of these lines, they're not trails, but if you walked along one of them, you would be theoretically at the exact same elevation the entire time. Now, if you look at these a little bit, you'll notice that some of them are bold and have numbers on them. These contour lines are called index lines, and that number that you see is the elevation of that line above sea level. The thinner contour lines in between the index lines are just a jump in elevation. If you go to the map key, it will tell you usually what that jump is. To really illustrate how contour lines work, let's take this 2D topographic map and bring it into 3D. Now, if we look at different contour lines, look how the spacing changes. This is the key to the whole thing. When the contour lines are spread farther apart, the slope is more gentle or maybe even flat. When they're tighter together, that means it's a steeper hill. When they're really close together or stacked on top of each other, it's very, very steep or even a cliff like here in the Grand Canyon. And the shapes of the contour lines also tell you about the shapes of the landforms. Closed circles that get smaller and smaller means you're going up to a peak or a high point. A low point between two higher high points is a saddle. When the contour lines form a sharp V shape along a water source, it means a drainage like a gully or a creek bed. That point of the V will always point uphill. But when you see a V pointing away from the peak, that is called a spur or a shoulder of a mountain. And if you look here, you can see the contour lines are spread out farther. So that's generally the easier way to go uphill because the gradient is less than it would be on these steeper stacked points on the side here. Now, outside of the contour lines, every map maker from the USGS to All Trails to European agencies uses slightly different symbols on your map. Don't waste time memorizing a specific legend for it. Every map has a legend, and you can generally find these on the map or online and get really detailed, but instead there's some universal logic that generally all of these topographic maps share. First, blue is generally always water. If you're looking at a solid blue line, it means water is flowing year-round. A dashed blue line means that it's a seasonal water source that will generally dry up probably later in the season. Green means vegetation. If you see white or sometimes light brown, that means there's no tree cover or more exposed terrain like something above the tree line. And if you see white with blue contour lines, that means it's a glacier or permanent snow or permanent ice field. For lines representing roads or trails, just think about a hierarchy of thickness. A thick, solid line is generally a road or a highway, something for cars. A solid line that's thinner could be something like a sidewalk or a paved path. Generally, if the line turns into dashes or tiny dots, that means it's something more primitive, generally a non-paved trail or path. One thing to look out for are lines in the map that have some shading behind them. These are boundaries between jurisdictions and not a trail. I've had people email me telling me they followed these lines and got into all kinds of trouble. So make sure you know the difference between a boundary and a trail. And when you go to buy a paper map, not all of them are topographic, so make sure you check before you get it. Look at the scale as well. 1 to 24,000 offers a great level of detail. It's also known as a 24K, or in Europe, I think it's 25K. If the scale number is higher than that, it will cover more area, generally at the expense of detail. But these can also be helpful. I like the Trails Illustrated maps from National Geographic, which show me all of the trails within a park or popular hiking area. Now, when I'm planning a hike, I'll generally take out a pencil and draw my intended route on the map. You can just erase that when you're done. Also fold it up and put it into a Ziploc bag. And this will allow me to navigate with the map, and I don't even necessarily need a compass to do it. Really, what I'm doing when I'm looking at the map and my line is I'm hiking from landmark to landmarks. And landmark can be any feature that's on the trail that's notable, something like a water crossing or a trail junction. I know where I am when I start, and I know what the next junction is I'm going to, and I can simply follow the trail from point A to point B for trail hiking. This isn't overland hiking. For trail hiking, This is easy enough and makes the map very useful. Some maps even have mileage markers between these landmarks to make it easy to know how far a hike is going to be. But if not, it's easy to find out. Look around the margin of the map for the map scale. There'll be a scale number and generally a little line that shows you what something like a kilometer or 500 meters or a mile is. For me, if I just want to do this quick and dirty, I'll just put my finger down on the scale and ballpark how wide my finger is, how far that is. Then I'll move that along the trail to estimate a distance. You can also just snap a twig to measure this out if you want to be a little bit more precise. Now, if you have a phone or a GPS unit that maybe doesn't have maps loaded offline, you can't see where you are on the phone, you can still locate yourself on a paper map. The key is that you want to get your GPS position from the device in something called a DMS format, which stands for degrees, minutes, and seconds. On the iPhone, it's easy enough. You just have to open up the default compass app and you can get the position and DMS at the bottom here. On stock Android, there isn't a default compass app like on the iPhone, but there are plenty of free apps that will show your position in DMS format. And on a dedicated handheld GPS or InReach or sports watch, even if you don't have maps, it will almost always have a way to see your position. It'll vary by device. Just make sure you put that display into DMS format. Once you have your latitude and longitude, go to a corner of the map around the outside. You will see coordinates here. And as you move along the edge, the coordinates change. Most of the time, this format is in DMS. You're going to want to check before you go. It could be UTM, in which case it's different. The concept is generally the same though. You go along the edge until you match your latitude, and then you go along the bottom edge until you match your longitude. Just make a little mark at each point and draw a straight line onto the map from there. And where those two lines intersect is your approximate position. Obviously, there's a lot more you can do with the map, especially in conjunction with a compass. Usually, I will opt for the convenience of electronic navigation. If you want to see what I'm using, just search for Hiking Guy, best hiking gear, and I have a full list of what I'm currently using. Not sponsored, things I bought, tested, and I use out on the trail now. Big thank you to everyone on Patreon who makes videos like this possible. Stay safe, guys, and I will see you out on the trail.